All right, I'm going to show you a few nut trees today. The big old garden spider, nature's pest control. This is the white oak, and it produces acorns. And the main way to identify it, the bark's pretty common here, but as you go up, it starts to kind of scale off. The bark is very distinguishable. I'll give you some better shots of it. But you can see how it starts to kind of peel off. That's the way it looks. The leaves are pretty common, oak leaves, and look at there, you see there's some acorns on there. And they're dropping those things like crazy right now. But it is just something about the white oaks. They're just a beautiful tree. Really, it's really pretty to me. I mean, I don't know how I came to that conclusion, but somehow it is. Thing about it, it sits over the shed I have here where I have some equipment in it here. These acorns fall off this tree. They hit the top of this metal shed here. And I mean, I just got hit by one in the shoulder. But yeah, they hit that shed, make a, pretty loud, a real loud noise. We have the windows open, scare Sabrina all the time. That girl's chicken, she just needs to man up. Here's a really big white oak, and it's dying right now. It is just massive. You see the scaly bark as it goes up there. It is still massive, but you see the limbs up there. They're starting to die off up there. And it still is just a beautiful tree. A little story about it. We used to sit out here, and there was this big red oak right here, and it was one of my favorite trees. Put my hand there, you can see how big this thing is. It was a really nice size oak, but it died. And we used to sit out here, and the limbs were hanging over. We don't sit out here anymore because Sabrina won't cut the grass. But when I cut this tree, it fell right into this one. I tried to send it out this way, but it went off a little bit, and it was just hung up in this tree. Which the thing about it is that I used to say when we'd sit out here, I go, this was the husband, because it was the biggest red oak around, and then this white oak, I would say, was his wife. And all these massive trees, oaks around here, the different white oaks, that's their oldest son right there. But all these massive oaks, I would always say that they were their children. So as it fell into this one, it was kind of sad to me, but I thought, well, kind of appropriate. And now this one's dying off, but still a beautiful tree. Here's some of their children. These two red oaks here. They're twins. See, they come off and branch off right there. I have a little buffalo I found probably, oh gosh, a long time ago. But it was, at a sacred site, an old ceremonial grounds, they called it. Native American, I'm assuming. But anyway, it guards these little two twins here. So in our driveway here, I mean, I'll just show you, we get these acorns this time of year. Some places there's so many of them, you'll just bust your behind if you're not watching. They'll accumulate. But we've got squirrels everywhere. You'd think they'd be eating these things, but this time of year they just kind of abandon them, and I'll show you why. All right, this is a hickory tree. It's not a very big one, but it's pretty tall. It's out here in the, pretty dense woods, so they don't get they grow up to get to the sunlight quicker. Hickory tree leaves, pretty easy to identify. They'll have one leaf coming out the end. They'll have little ridges on them, but then as you go down the stem, you get the two coming out on each side apart from each other. This one only has a few, but they'll do it for several rows on some of them. See the bark on there. It's not a real significant bark, but it does smooth out like a lot of trees as you go to the top. This is a tiny little hickory tree, but goodness gracious, got spider webs all over me. But the thing about it, what I want to show you, see the bark, it's just kind of a regular looking bark, not too rough, but how you can identify a hickory tree, especially in the wintertime, as you start to go up it, look how the bark changes. It just starts to get it smooth. Just a smooth bark the higher you get up it. And of course the leaves, the patterns there, you see the one leaf on the end and then the two growing out opposite as you go up it. So plenty of it out here too. Here's another little hickory tree. I'm surprised, you see right here there's still a few hickory nuts on it there. But yesterday, man, it was loaded with squirrels and they were just having a field day. I save a lot of it, use it for smoking. Not in a pipe, but with my grill. I like chicken wings and shoat ribs. Anyway, that's a hickory tree. Really hard wood too. Yeah, the squirrels, they'll come and like cut a whole branch off, I guess, chew it off and let it fall to the ground and then take the nuts. Now you get a bunch of them on the ground. We've been known to get a lot of wild hogs out here. They love those hickory nuts, but we've thinned them out pretty good. Not the hickory nuts, the hogs. Okay, stole one of them hickory nuts. Got it in his mouth. Bring my hickory nut back. Bring back, that's my hickory nut. Yeah, look at him. Turn the stove on, Mama. Daddy brought some food home. This is a little black walnut tree. They get a lot bigger than this, but the wood is just absolutely adorable. But the wood's really, it's pretty. Look at that, there's still a few walnuts on it. I thought they were gone, but yeah. Basically a sweet nut, you know, you take off that thick husk on there, just dry a little bit, and then you have your walnut shell in there and get your walnuts. Of course, you see the tree just full of leaves right now, and their pattern is like, you know, some other trees you'll see where they just grow out opposite each other on down the little limb, the little stem there, and then sometimes you'll have one on the very end. But the main thing is they'll grow for, you know, pretty good lengths, just opposite one another. So look at all these black walnuts on the tree. This little tree sits out by the road. I am so surprised that the squirrels have not just got in here and just ate these things up, because like I say, first they start out eating acorns, that's the chicken wings, then they find them hickory nuts on the hickory trees, that's their sirloin steak. But I am telling you, this is like the filet mignon to them.
It's filet mignon.
Well, that ain't the way the squirrels pronounce it.
Oh, so now the squirrels talk to you?
Well, evidently, according to you, not correctly. But this is a black walnut tree. That's my assistant Sabrina over there, just giving me the lowdown on everything. So.
Look, there's an inch more on the top.
Oh wow, we're gonna have a black walnut milkshake.